I just wanted to give them a little bit, because I know a lot of people they not hip to that type, that part of you.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody listen to the radio tracks and this and that. They don't know nothing about Lemonade Mimosa, my nigga.
I know, right?
You know what I'm saying? They don't know nothing about that currency and that Sky Zoo type of deal. You know what I'm saying? If you didn't know, welcome to the show. I'm sorry for the late start, but we are on Grammy Award Winning time. You know what I'm saying? I would be more mad if he was on time. You know what I'm saying? Like, what type of Grammy Award winning nigga shows up to a show on time? You know what I mean? Niggas is in my DM and they text me. They're like, yo, where y'all at? Nigga, we on Grammy time, nigga.
Yeah, man.
We on fucking Grammy time. You know, niggas is on, you know, the city niggas, they probably like, oh, he ain't coming.
Nah, man, the weather was a little bad.
Yeah.
I was like 8 minutes late. It wasn't that bad.
Yeah, you was 10 minutes, just 10 minutes. 10 minutes, 1 minute with adding the steps, adding the walk up on the steps.
No doubt.
But thank you for coming, first of all.
Thanks for having me, bro.
Toast before we even get started to this, to a great interview and
For sure.
appreciation to you even sitting down with the kid. You know what I'm saying? It's been a long time coming for me, and I've always wanted to sit down with you and talk to you because your story is just so unique coming from where we from. You know what I'm saying? And when I was telling you before we got on, like a lot of the times when I look at interviews on you, they don't get into your story. It's just
Right, the roots. Right, it's from like 2008 on up, but I've been doing this forever.
Yeah, they don't know about the West Side Kid and,
Right.
and going to high school and things like that. So I wanted to make sure that we did that. Like before I even started this actual platform, I wanted to get you on the Jay Sutton show. So I reached out to you earlier just to put it in the universe. Mm-hmm. No pressure or nothing. And then the universe returned it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, it came back full circle.
Listen,
for
I
me.
came to you.
Yeah. And that's
I
that
was
was the
I was chilling with my brother Dre and my man's June. You know what I mean? And we was talking about one of your shows, and I was just like, "Yo, Dre, you got a line on Jay?" I'm like, "I'm trying to go up on it. I'm trying to come up on that Jay." You know what I mean? 'Cause I always hear a lot of. I peeped a couple shows. You know what I'm saying? And I always hear a lot of good stuff about your shows, and it's funny as hell.
That's love. That's love. I appreciate that, and the respect is definitely reciprocated. I want to talk about. Tell me about that Currency track, Lemonade Mimosa. How did that come up? Because a lot of people not used to that type of sound from you.
Well, so that started, I think around like 2016, and actually we were in Cool and Dre studio in Miami, and me and my brother Tone pulled up on
Bunch of light skinned niggas.
Yeah, C-Dot, my brother Roc, you know what I mean? So we pulled up, and funny story, we ended up, Tone used to have a X6, so we pulled up to the studio, and we ended up having to take an Uber back because I hit a dab of wax.
Yeah.
We was hitting a dab of wax with Currency, and man, it was like, you ever seen Half Baked? Where it was like floating out the window and all that.
That's how you felt.
Yeah, we was tore up. We missed a whole night because of that. We ended up catching the Uber back to Tone's condo.
Yeah.
And yeah, man. But
that's a different type of smoke.
We were working with Cool and Dre, and I think it was Pilot Talk 3.
Yeah, that's
Pilot
Talk 3.
Pilot Talk 3. Yeah, and I came there and I played him a whole bunch of joints, and he just went crazy over that.
Yeah, because that's that sound. That's that sound right there.
And a lot of people, you know what I mean, like you said earlier before we was on air, a lot of people don't even know I can jump in that bag. But
my nigga, your range, like when I sit back, because I don't reach out, I fuck with all the radio shit, but I'm not no really radio type of nigga. So I reach out to you when you work with them niggas that like I really fuck with, like Currencies and Sky Zoos and Vados. The shit you did with that slime flu shit, I'm like,
Vado, that's my guy, man.
That nigga's nasty.
Yeah,
he's
spit,
nasty.
right?
And the thing about your beats are like, for lyricists, like a lot of people don't pay attention to the lyricist aspect of your beats, because as much as your beats are doing, you still leave pockets.
Oh yeah, simple.
For MCs to get busy. Talk to me about how you developed that.
Yeah, I mean, just being, into music and kind of like seeing the success of Meek Mill and how I was able to be simple, simplify my production for him. You know what I mean? And then I took those elements a little bit further, and when I started to sample, I just didn't want to overproduce. So I didn't really, when I do like sample stuff, I don't really add on to like the samples. I might do, you know, 2 loops or something like that. Whereas though a lot of producers overproduce, and that kind of like drowns the artist out.
You don't leave no pockets for nobody.
I mean, I had a chance to just watch dudes like Just Blaze and actually be around them dudes and learn from them. You know what I mean? And just learn a little. I mean, I'm a student of the game, so when I'm around them dudes, I'm asking them questions.
Fuck
like,
yeah.
Well, how you do this? And, you know, how did you do this for Hove and this and that? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
good question.
I never was afraid to ask questions around dudes that I looked up to.
The only dumb question is the one I asked. That's what they say out here in these streets. I want to go back. I want to start this interview to where we'll go through a time slot of your life and beginning, middle, end, and where we are now. Not end because, you know, we got a lot of living to do out this bad boy. But I just wanted to, like, for newer viewers and stuff, tell the people where you grew up in Chester.
Yeah, so I'm from the Lamoken Village, but I grew up on the east side, 22nd Street.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I moved out of Lamoken Village and I was like 5, and
so that was pre Crip days.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't.
I know. I'm just saying before the.
My brothers was around it, but I wasn't really. You know what I mean?
Was young.
I had a good supporting cast, so I never really was wanting to be in the streets or even involve myself in that.
No, I was just saying the growing up, growing up in the LV, you know, it was a certain point where they did start cripping or whatever. So I was saying, were you there? Was it pre-cripping or?
Nah, I think it was going on around there.
Okay.
Yep. Because I moved in, I think, 94, 95.
Yeah. What was the difference between when you moved from the west side to the east side? Because it's a whole different.
It saved my life. So I moved on Sandland Street, and that's like right near Chester Park.
Yeah.
And when I moved there, it was still like white people still living there and stuff like that. And everybody had like their mom and their dads there. You know what I mean? So I grew up normal. Yeah. You know what I mean? And things didn't really change until I moved to 22nd Street till I got a little older. And then the city kind of got different. I mean, when you get older, it's different. You know what I mean?
Everybody grows up. Talk to me about how that probably shaped you moving in the industry because being in that environment is the same thing pretty much. Yeah,
well, my dad was a music producer and a certified engineer in '88, the year I was born. Okay. And my cousin Lamont, he was trying to get into the production and stuff like that. So we started off making beats on MTV Generator on the PlayStation.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, we would make the beats and then we'd dub them from the RCA. Yeah. We would dub them on the tapes. Oh, shit. And I'm like 10 years old, you know what I mean?
So you would say you started at 9, 10 years old?
I made my first beat at 10. I started making beats at 11.
Okay.
Like seriously.
Right. You spoke on your dad. I thought I heard that he was actually a musician.
He was a musician. Okay. He had a band in the 70s.
Okay. What's the name of that band?
I forgot what it was called. Yeah. He gonna kill me.
Yeah, I know. That's why I asked you, nigga. Pop's gonna be on you for that.
He played the drums. He played the bass guitar. Yeah. You know what I mean? He played the electric guitar. He was a beast.
Oh yeah. So you would say that probably influenced you a lot in getting into the music.
Yeah. Like so. I mean, as far as I can remember, and Dre here, he'll tell you, my dad had a home studio, so he used to have us like rapping. You know what I mean? He was recording us. So I remember I was like 3, and I made a rap up called "My Name Is Jaja."
Give me the first 3 bars then.
And the rap was like, my name is Jaja. I got a mom, I got a dad, and I got 6 brothers. Yeah,
that's some true shit. I mean, you was living your rhymes, my nigga, at an early age.
My dad still got that tape too. It's crazy, man.
You got to sample that.
Yeah, I was born into it, man, for sure.
That's fucking dope, man. You said you started on a PlayStation making beats?
Yeah, that was my cousin Lamont. He had a MTV Generator. Him and his man Ian was doing beats, and then he kind of like took me under his wing, and then because I looked up to him because he was he just was like my first older cousin, you know what I mean, like close to my age. So
you probably thought he was so cool.
He was cool. Him and my brothers, they was cool. You know what I mean. So I just I just thought it was amazing that he was able to make beats and stuff like that. You know what I mean, and
How did you know that you wanted to do it? Like what was that like? Just knowing you wanted to do that.
I didn't know until I went to high school, and it's crazy. People didn't even know I made beats, but I remember my brother Dre went to his people's crib, and I think they was playing like Madden or something like that, and he had took one of my beat CDs because he was always like, yo, you nice, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
but
he knew.
Me, I was kind of insecure because, like, you know.
You never know your artist. We
Yeah.
sensitive about our shit.
Not even that. Like, I just, I didn't think I was good. You feel me?
Okay.
And then I came back to school and I think it was my man Darren Govins. He was like, yo, and my man Shaq. They was like, yo, we was listening to your beats. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Them shits is fire.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, for real?
Yeah.
And that kind of like gave me the confidence.
Did you ever try to
really
rap?
Yeah.
Everybody got 16.
We started off trying to be rappers first, you know what I
Okay.
mean? So I always rapped since like a kid. I always wanted to be a rapper. My first favorite rapper was Mace.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Puff and Mace.
Smooth ass nigga. Smooth ass nigga. When did you fall in love with hip hop?
Man, probably like since probably like 5 years old.
Yeah, you remember the song?
I remember the first rap song I really remember was Gin and Juice by Snoop.
Your era, everybody around your age group is always Gin and Juice.
Yeah, so that was like, cause that was like big. That's like,
Huge.
you know what I mean? When
And
you're
it's
a kid.
one of the greatest albums of all time.
Oh yeah, it's in my top 5.
Fuck yeah. That's and how many brothers you say you got?
I got 6 brothers.
6. I swear every year I find out it's a new brother. They be like, no, that's John Dre.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's another one of these motherfuckers. They just be popping up. I'm like, get the fuck out of here.
I got a big family, man.
Yeah, I know. So I know that. How was that growing up in that household?
Man, it was fun because my brothers, they always protected me, so I never got bullied like that.
That's a
You
good
know what I
thing.
mean? And then my little brothers, they always looked up to me. So, it was a lot of fun, man, for real. And I was never really the fighting type, so it was never really like a bunch of scraps with like me. And my brothers always just wanted to be around me.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Even though I was like 5 years younger than my older
He's a
brother.
golden child, kid.
They love me, you know what I mean? But I was really like, I wouldn't say the forgotten child, but I always been like laid back and just like out the way and just let my brothers do their thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. What did you do before? I know you got some other hobby or talent that you did.
Well, I draw too.
You draw?
You know what I mean, me and my brother Karan, we draw, so we used to always draw all the time.
What's your go-to drawing?
Spawn. You ever heard of Spawn?
Yeah.
Todd McFarlane was like my favorite artist, you know what I mean? So he was under like Stan Lee and them.
Yeah.
And he kind of like revolutionized like Spider-Man. But I remember just being around my cousins and they used to like watch the cartoon movie. I mean, it was like a show on HBO.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I gravitated towards it. And I used to draw a lot and watch movies. I watch a lot of movies.
Yeah.
For sure.
That's fucking dope. I figured it's always good to ask somebody who draw. Like if I just sit you down right now and give you a pen and paper, what you gonna draw?
A lot of people don't know I can draw. I can really draw. For sure.
Yeah. I did my research. I did my research. How is it like? It's one thing to have one super producer, but then to have 2 super producers. How is it having the beat bully like around? Did y'all used to have like little beat battles and shit? Like I imagine.
No,
it's
we
like
never
basketball.
did. You know what's crazy? I took him under the wing. He learned at probably like around 9 or 10. He might have been like 9 when he learned how to make beats.
God damn.
Right. And he was just like, yo, show me how to make beats. And I was just like, all right, cool. Because, I mean, it was easy for my cousin to show me. So everything I learned from him, I just taught everything that I knew to him. But the thing about the beat bully, Tone, the difference about Tone was he never had a point where he was trash. He was
came
good.
out hitting.
Yeah, I always tell people he's a lot more talented than me. Because I learned, like, even like with my new style, like I learned a lot from him. And a lot of my stuff come from him. And, you know what I mean? I was just a student from under my little brother. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The student becomes the teacher becomes the student.
Yeah, for sure.
Pretty much. Since you just spoke on the sound, I want to hold off on that. I really because I do want to get into the sound because I hear the sound changes. It's big as shit. It's like I remember.
Thank you, man.
I commented in one of your joints. I'm like stadium music.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, nigga, you ain't fooling me, motherfucker. I know what's going on here. You looking for a big ass fucking crowd, but we'll touch on that. What did I want? I wanted the. When did you start doing working with Fruity Loops? Is that something that you work with?
So I would say maybe like 2 years after we was like making beats on MTV Generator. My pop always wanted me to get into like the keyboards and stuff like that. He had I never forget, he had Cubase. But it was kind of like it was cool to use, but I couldn't take it home.
Okay.
So he found the program. He found the program. He ended up buying it. It was like $99 or something like that. And he was like, "Yo, you can make beats, but you don't need like no equipment. You can just use a mouse and it's drag and click."
Yeah.
And then I just started messing around with it, and he actually gave it to me and my cousin L. And Lamont he really picked up on it, and then he just started to show me stuff on there, and that's when it was a wrap. That's when I was just like, all right, I'm hooked.
Okay.
Because like you said, it was a hobby at first. It was just like, just I could do it. You know what I mean? I could create. But when I got FL Studio, I was just like, yo, I'm gonna make beats every day. I don't have nothing. I'm not even gonna go outside.
Fuck outside, right? Do you play any instruments?
No, I don't play any instruments, man. None. I messed around with the drums, but I'm not gonna say I'm a drummer. You know what I mean?
Okay. I'm gonna say it for you. I'm a drummer, but I fuck around with the drums, so I'm a drummer.
Yeah, I could definitely mess around with the drums, but I wouldn't say that I'm like at a level of probably you or something like that.
I'm not really a drummer.
Oh, okay.
I'm just fronting.
You know what I mean? But I don't know how to read music or nothing. I don't know.
You can just play it by ear. I'm pretty much like that. Like I can pick up on a sound and mimic it to the best of my ability, but I can't do what you do and actually create an entire track. Like I can listen to like a skeleton of one of your beats.
You create ideas and stuff like that.
Yeah, I can listen to a skeleton and I'd be like, this sound like this bop in here go ill as shit right there. But I can never be able to formulate the whole thing and just be like, yo, this is a whole beat that somebody could get busy to.
It's a process, man. I mean, a lot of people think that it's easy, but it's like, you gotta really, I say it's a gift, you know what I mean? Like music is a gift, because everybody can't be good.
Yeah, outside of your cousin and your pops teaching you how to produce and everything, who were some of the people that helped you when you were younger coming up in the city?
My man Skip.
Okay.
Skip at
Skip Whaler, I believe his name was.
Skip at Black Cat.
He used to be here.
Yep.
Yeah.
Skip was a big influence on me, because I got to be in a studio and just be around that environment. And I'll never forget, he gave me my first beat machine. He gave me a Kai MPD. So Skip was definitely an influence on me. I think that was like the only influence musically.
Yeah. I was going to ask you what was your actual first beat machine, but you just told me. What was that?
It was a Kai MPD. It was, since I use FL Studio, I use MIDI keyboards and stuff like that. So my first beat pad was a MIDI beat pad. Okay. I think it might have been one of the first beat pads ever, though.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
What was one?
And this was probably like 2007.
Damn, you've been at it a long ass time. Can you remember it? What beat that's familiar to people that you probably made on that pad actually? Any beats that you?
I made So Fly, Meek Mill So Fly on it.
Okay.
I made Hottest in the City on that jank.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yep.
That's funny. That's like.
I made Make 'Em Say on there.
Yeah. See, it's a lot of like those type of things. I think like those are good jewels for people to know. Yeah, thanks. I appreciate that. Now you said that when you chose to get into producing and making beats and everything, you said forget outside and everything. But I heard it's rumored. You can tell me if it's true or false that when kids were playing basketball or playing Doorbell Dixie, you would run around with a little recorder to sample the sounds of the people kicking the doors. Is that true or false?
I wish. That's a great. That would be good to put in the book, but nah. If I was outside, I mean, I wouldn't say I was in the house all the time. Like I definitely played ball, played like street football and stuff like that, and did stuff that kids did. You know what I mean? And even on like 22nd Street, like I grew up with like Calvin Gilbert and my man C-Dot, and you know what I mean? We was cool kids. We didn't really do too much. We was out the way. We was chasing girls and stuff. Pretty
much.
That.
Shout out to both of them.
I never really had no crazy pressure. You know what I mean? I was never really around it at all. Even when my oldest brother was in the streets, like I never was really around that shit.
Well, we all know what we want to do. Like what's for us. Like a smart man knows what's for them and what's not for them.
But they would never let me like be in the streets.
And that's a good thing. That's protection. I wanted to talk about one of my favorite artists from Philly is Ab Lava. I think he's definitely
my guy.
top five out of Philadelphia lyrically. The song what is Cruising on Red Leather?
Yeah.
How did that come about?
Well, my man Mozzie. He from Chester. He was managing this cat named Akin, and I think he was like his young boy. He was Ab Lava young boy.
Okay.
So I ended up connecting with Ab Lava through him.
Yeah.
And then I did a couple records because I've been a fan of him and like Yelly and them, like major figures. I grew up on them. So I was already a fan, you know what I mean? So he just sent me like records like, yo, he was like, yo, you rap? I think I started rapping.
Yeah.
And I had like 2 like videos on MTV Jams.
I remember them
some
joints.
records on the radio, and he was like, yo, can you rap on this record? I was like, hell yeah. I was like, damn, you asked, I'm flattered. Cause,
yeah, you lava, nigga.
You know what I mean? You Ab Lava. You one of my favorite from the city, you know what I mean? And I just did my verse, and then we did the video. We shot the video in Vegas. We shot part of it in Vegas, and then we shot part of it in the studio in Philly.
Cool.
You know what I mean?
That's one of my favorite artists. I got a chance to tell him that I had ran into him. Like I normally run into him in Philly when I'm on the comedy scene, and I'll just go by and be like, yo, just shake his hand and be like, yo, you're a bad motherfucker. And keep it moving. That's the type of nigga I am. But one day I got to build with him because he's partners with one of my guys that I went to Lincoln with. And so I called him at the betting place in Delaware. So I wound up getting to bust it up with Ab Lava and building with him and telling him how much I fuck with his music or whatever. And then I wound up turning him on to Griselda.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I'm talking to him. I'm like, yo, you fuck with the Griselda? Because I'm a nerd. I'm a music nerd.
You love the essence of hip hop. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I want to listen to the music and it make my skin crawl type of shit. Like I want to feel it. Like I'm more of a I don't listen to music. I feel it. So when I'm listening to people's music, if I don't feel it,
you remind me of my brother Jamar. You know what I mean?
me and Jamar built so many times.
He really like just he loved like that traditional
that raw shit,
hip hop.
Yeah,
stuff,
me and him, we the only 2 that agree on Styles P being the best out of the lot.
See, look, my brother dying right now, and Styles P is my dude.
The illest nigga. Yeah, that joint. You got some joints.
They always arguing about that.
My
man.
nigga, I talk to him when we in the shop sometimes, and I be like, my nigga, Styles P, like, man, you sound like my brother. I'm like, nigga, cause he know, nigga, he fucking know.
I love Styles, man.
Styles is the illest. My only gripe with Kiss is. It's the same Kiss from 96 or 98 or whenever the hell it was. It's just like, it's no progression.
But I mean, I wouldn't say it's no progression. I think that Kiss is just like.
He just that ill.
He plays his lane. He's in his lane.
Yeah, man, switch that motherfucker. Sometimes you gotta get out that lane, man. Just a little bit.
I mean, I don't know, man. Cause I mean, I look at it like this, like dudes like Kane. These dudes is to certain people, they like the
gods.
Greatest rappers of all time.
Yeah.
And they really kind of like had a short run, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I look at Kiss like A Boogie with the Hoodie could have Kiss on his album right now and it wouldn't be no problem. You feel what I'm saying?
It's never.
His longevity is just like
I understand
ridiculous,
that.
but I feel where you're coming from.
It's the same, like it's the same formula. It's no knock on it. I still listen to Kiss and be like, damn, that was some ill shit. Yeah. But it's like I heard it before.
I think with Kiss, I think he's just that artist. I think like him, Fab, maybe Ross, they're like sort of like they like to paint a picture in a different type of way. Then you got artists like J and M, and maybe Nas that might open up to their life.
Many different
Biggie,
styles of painting.
That's what I'm saying. It's 2 different type of artists when you talking in like that vein. You know what I mean? You got like dudes like Big and like. I mean, Kiss do give you that. Still feel me? He's like, he goes back and he start to talk about like certain things about his family and stuff like that, but he just doesn't open up as much as
Styles P does.
Styles P, he'll tell you about his brother passing away and all that.
Sometimes I just
you feel the pain in the music. They just 2 different artists. Honestly.
And when I get into that argument with people or that discussion with people, it always seems like I don't like Kiss. It's like, no, it's not that I don't like Kiss. I love Kiss. I just think Styles is better than Kiss. Now, everybody has their opinion. I don't think
it's no wrong answer.
It's no wrong answer. It's all in how you feel.
Both some of the best rappers ever. So,
man, that's a fact. Bring it back to Meek. How did you guys actually meet? First of all, how did it feel, before we get into how you guys met, how did it feel? Because it was a certain point in certain period where every time you turned on the radio, it was Jahlil Beats, holla at me, and Meek Mill, right after that. So how did that feel, like, coming from here, man?
I mean, that was like my end goal, you know what I mean? Like, my whole goal, when I started taking music serious, my whole goal was to have a song on the radio and my dad hear it and we driving together and he hear it on the radio and that's it, you know what I mean? But like with Meek, I don't know, man, we both got the same drive in a sense, you know what I mean? Or we had the same drive at one point, you know what I mean? We had the same goal. We didn't know if we were going to get signed or whatnot, but we knew that it was working, so we was just going to keep churning out music. And Cosmic Kid was behind us. All the DJs was Doc B. Everybody was behind us, so we just kind of like fed the demand. You feel me?
Yeah. And how many years? What year was that around? When
this was 2008. Yeah,
Yeah,
because I know I made So Fly when I was 19. That was my first. And it made it on Next Day Air soundtrack. That was 07. Yeah.
That's a few years removed
but
from me interning.
Yeah, but we really ain't start turning up till like 2009.
Then what song was that you say was
when he got out, and then we did Make 'Em Say, because we did So Fly, and then we did Hottest in the City, and then he got locked up for like 8 months. And then he was on fire. I know Flamers 2 leaked, and his mixtape was just everywhere.
You couldn't go nowhere without hearing that shit.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. And then as soon as he got out, it was a wrap. But we was already like building everything up. He was like calling me all the time.
Yeah.
And then Charlie Mack came to my mom's crib, and he was like, he sat down with me and my mom, and he was
Star
like,
maker.
Yeah, he was like, yo, he was like, did you make Hottest in the City? I'm like, yeah, I made that beat. And that's me on the hook. And he was like, yo, I want to sign you right now. I want to manage you.
Word.
You know what I mean? And I didn't even know who Charlie Mack was. I did my homework, and I knew
First out the limo.
He's like Will Smith's best friend.
First out the limo.
Him and Jazzy Jeff. And then I was just like, man, that's crazy. But Charlie Mack changed my life because I was a bad introvert. You know what I mean? I was a serious introvert. I ain't really like to like talk. I'll be in the corner. If you know me, you know me. You know what I mean?
I know exactly that feeling.
I ain't really hang around too many people. A lot of people from the city ain't really know me like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he got me out of that by just having me in the mix. Like, yo, you gotta jump in Meek videos. You gotta do all. I used to hate it, man.
Giving you that
he
confidence.
made me the hype man. Oh man, I hated it.
Confidence. How did you and Meek actually meet?
Yeah, I connected with Meek on MySpace. He had did a record. Oh, I already knew who he was from high school. Like him and like dudes like Reed Dollars and Joey Jihad. They was like the first dudes on YouTube doing like uploading their DVDs and stuff and their freestyles on YouTube. So we used to watch them like in class. So I was aware of him, but then he ended up doing this record called In My Bag, and my cousin Sat produced it.
Yeah, shout out to Sat.
Yeah, and I just was a fan of him. I heard him on the radio, so I reached out to him on MySpace. And I was just like, yo, I'm a fan of Flamers. I was like, Flamers 1 is crazy. Yeah. And he was just like, yo, send me some beats. And I sent him So Fly. I sent him 3 beats, So Fly, Hottest in the City, and Way Back. And they all went on his new tape.
That was Flamers 2?
And then Flamers 2. And then the mixtape was called Hottest in the City.
Okay.
After that track. And
Did you know, I know the rest is history, but like, did you know, like when you heard him over one of your tracks, did you know like y'all had that Dre and Snoop connection?
I don't think it was really. I think we was just getting a feel first. You know what I mean? I thought like So Fly was a cool track. I thought Hottest in the City was a cool track, but I think that we didn't really catch that like momentum until like I would say Make 'Em Say and Rose Red. That's when we knew, like, all right, now we figured it out. We cracked the code. Yeah. You know what I mean?
And that's what I got that written down. Like, do you think that Rose Red
broke
was
us,
the one?
though. Rose Red really broke us into, like, the tri-state. Like, he was hot as fish grease. Both of us was. You know what I mean? Because at that time, like, he was bubbling, but Gilly was coming to me. Young Chris, Freeway, Neef, Oskino, AR Ab, like all these dudes, Reed Dollars, all them dudes that was killing it. Yeah. Cree Forge. And I was just supplying everybody with beats. And I remember like just listening to the radio, and it was like the come up show. He played a lot. At that time, he was playing like most of his show was just like up and coming like Philly dudes. Because at the time, Philly didn't have a big scene.
Yeah,
it was just starting to bubble. Me and Meek broke through, so it was a lot of like underground stuff. So I would have like 90% of the records on there.
Yeah, dope.
You know what I mean?
That was a proud day for
it kind of, thank you. Yeah. It kind of made Meek hotter though, cause it's like, damn, like I started to be my own entity. You know what I mean? And it would like kind of like help him out too. Like, damn, we already know who Jahlil is, and he's lacing Meek with these joints. You know what I'm saying?
And that's what I like.
So it's cool. My bad to cut you off, but it's cool to be a hot rapper, but then to have a hot producer doing the tracks, and it's like, damn, both of them killing it.
Perfect marriage.
You know what I mean?
And that's what I wanted to say, because that's rare that with you guys coming up and working together the way that y'all did, the way y'all careers took off together. Yeah. And then, when both of y'all careers started going in different directions.
Right.
But y'all still both
we always
excelling.
Still tap in with each other.
Yeah,
all
y'all
the
both
time.
excelling, but as soon as y'all get back together, the chemistry is the same shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And that brings me to basically Amen. Would you consider Amen to be like your Kanye West Jesus Walks?
I wouldn't say it's Jesus Walks, but I say that it's a record that was accepted for those lyrics, you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of those records don't even get off the ground because of the lyrics, you know what I mean? And it was a rap record, and it was just like, you know what I mean, a religious record in a sense, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. And that was
I say you could kind of compare it in that way, but it was like totally two different records. But it was a big record for us. It went #2 on the Billboard. Almost went #1.
Shit was fucking huge. And again, that was showing the range.
Yeah, for sure.
Because when that came on, you like. A
lot of people don't even know I did that because I ain't put my tag on there.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't
forgot to put my tag on it.
Yeah, how you forget to do something like that?
When we did the last mix, when I sent the mix out, when I sent the stems out, I forgot to put my tag in there. So when they mixed it, they just put it out. Yeah. And I'm like, where the hell is my tag at? But then I looked in the folder, I forgot to put it in there. I wasn't sick because people knew I did it, but
yeah, but I know what you're feeling. I know the feeling. What would you what the hell was that? Who is that saying Jahlil Beats holla at me?
It's a good friend of mine's. Her daughter, she's old now.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, she's about to graduate high school. You know what I mean? But yeah, she did it because like at one point rappers wasn't shouting me out, so I would be like, all right, well, people gotta understand, like they gotta know who I am. Right? I'm doing these beats. You feel what I'm saying?
You was one of the first to actually put your tag in there.
I'm definitely one of the first in the game.
I know damn well you are, because after you, it was
everybody was doing.
Everybody started.
But it was smart. You know what I mean? I didn't even know how smart it was until people would start telling me, like, yo, that was crazy that you did that.
Nigga, that was a genius move right there, because, no producer had a tag in the beginning. Like, coming up in the 90s and the early 2000s, nobody actually tagged their music and shit. So, with you to change the game like that, you changed the game in a lot of ways.
Thank you.
Talk to me about, I want to talk, was you in the studio with them when they recorded Amen?
I was there when we finished up. I actually took J. Cole to the studio. We was just working on records at No ID studio.
Okay.
And No ID was just talking about like, yo, y'all should do a tape. Well, no, J. Cole, I'm wrong. J. Cole wanted to do a tape with Wale and Kendrick. No. It was Wale and Big Sean. They was on fire at the time.
Yeah.
And No ID, you know what I mean? He was just like, well, I think you should get Meek on there. Like, you should do it with Meek, because Meek is hotter than Wale right now. You know what I mean? This is when we had, like, I'm a Boss, like, probably the hottest street record in the world. You know what I mean? And he was like, yeah, I'm going to holler at him. And I never forget. I was like, yo, I know her, yeah. I'm working on Dream Chasers 2 right now.
Yeah.
We go pull up. So me and J. Cole hopped in the whip and just pulled up, and he was just playing J. Cole a whole bunch of records. And we ended up doing a record that never came out.
Get the fuck out of here.
Meek Mill, J. Cole, and Big Sean. I actually got the record. I'm trying to put it on my album, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, I mean, that's 3 big artists. That's going to be hard to clear.
Heck yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying? But, yeah, I mean, we watched it, them finish that record. And the crazy thing is, Drake had me do the drums on there. Like he was like, yo, get Ja to do the drums. Cause it was just a sample at first.
Okay.
So Drake was like, yo, get Ja to do the drums on there. And then that's when I flew in and did the drums to the record.
That's dope.
And then it was a rap.
That is dope as hell. You got any Drake stories of in the studios or whatever?
Nah, nothing too crazy.
Nah, just something.
Nah, I mean, it's been just a regular studio process, nothing too crazy.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
What's it like working with Meek in the studio? What's his process like?
Well, it's different with like me and him. I know I've been in the studio with him where he did other people's tracks, but I'm more hands-on because
you're producing.
Even like as far as like just ideas for like flows and stuff like that. I don't write his raps or nothing like that.
Disclaimer for niggas.
Yeah. But just like how to flow and just guiding him how to
producing
with energy to have on records and stuff like that. And he do a lot of co-production without even getting credit. I might do something, he might be like, yo, take that out or drop it like drop the bass like this or drop the beat out like this and just had a melody playing. So our chemistry is just ridiculous.
Yeah, sure. I'm sure. Talk to me about the I'm a Boss track and how that came about with Rick Ross.
That was a mistake. So Tone, this is a funny story. So Tone found out he was having a son. You know what I mean? And he was like, yo, my mom called me. She was like, yo, you know your brother is having a son. You know what I mean? No. I don't even think he knew he was having a son. I just know his girlfriend was pregnant. So I'm like, man, I got to do something for my little brother. He a young boy. He about to have a kid. So I'm like, yo, I'm going to take you to the studio. I'm gonna get you in with Meek. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna get you some placements. And he came with one beat. And I had one beat on my thumb drive, but it was for Jeezy. I was working on Jeezy album. And he played the beat. He only brought one beat. I wanted to kill him. He played one beat, and Meek was like, he was feeling it, but he was like, I know Meek. He was looking for that one. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, yo, Ja, pull some joints up. I had one beat on the joint. I said, man, I only got one beat. He's like, nah, pull that joint up. And then I pulled it up. It was I'm a Boss. He was like, yo, I'm ready to record. I was salty.
Damn.
But thank God he did it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What was it like when you heard Ross was getting on that bad boy?
You know what's crazy? Tone got the video of that whole process.
Get out of here.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it on. I'm gonna drop a documentary soon with that on there. But Ross. So Ross had just did his verse for Rose Red remix. Okay. So him and T.I. and your man's Vado jumped on that joint. Yeah. And you know, he had reached out to Meek because he had just signed Wale. He had reached out to Meek, but Meek was still in a situation with T.I. But T.I. went to jail. He kept going to jail, and you know, when we was doing I'm a Boss, I was like, yo, you should get Ross on that joint. And he was like, all right, I'm gonna send it to him. He was like, yo. He was like, if Ross jump on this joint, man, I'm gonna just sign with him because Ross reached out to him. He was like, yo, what's your situation like? You know what I mean? I'm building my label up. It's called MMG. You know what I mean? And me and my man DJ Difference, we was like, man, you gotta sign with Ross. Ross was hot as fish grease. Fish grease. He was coming off of BMF and MC Hammer. Yeah. And the crazy thing is, we kept running into him. You know what I mean? We opened up for Ross and Puff at the House of Blues in AC. So we would just keep running into him. You know what I mean? Yeah. So like him and Puff would like watch our shows and shit like that. I would be his hype man, and Meek would tear that shit up. He'd kill that shit more than them. Yeah. You know what I mean? His energy is different. And then like this is like his town. You know, even if it's AC. You know what I mean? Like that's people home. From right. So Ross already knew what was going on, but like, when I know Ross came to Power 99, and Cosmic Kid was like, yo, this kid, Meek Mills, he got this shit on fire. You know what I'm saying? He got it on fire. And Ross was like, and you know, we had I'm a Boss out. He had did it. Yeah, I know. Ross came there and they connected it like that. Like, Ross was like, man, I'm already on he already on my radar. Yeah, because when the original was already hard as shit, and then once Ross hopped on it, it just blew that. Yeah, it was over. Yeah, what you say, fish grease, nigga. What happened was Ross was like, yo, I'm in Philly. No. Ross was there at Power 99, Meek was on Twitter. This when we first started jumping into Twitter.
Yeah.
He was like, yo, at Rick Ross and let him know, like, Meek Mill the hottest in the area. Everybody was just at him, flooding this shit. And then they called him up to the radio station. And then after that, it was over.
That's just dope as hell. How does it, like, the people who you looked up to or listened to, I won't say looked up to, but artists that you listened to growing up before you actually got in the business of working with them, how did that feel to be rubbing shoulders with the likes of Lil Wayne's and things like that, man? It's
surreal. And I actually I really got to kick it with Wayne. I worked with Wayne a couple times, but, you know, I was just on his last album.
Yeah.
I really got to kick it with him. I got to go to the club with him and stuff like that. I got to go to the club with him twice. One time, I was with him and Kanye, which was crazy.
Hold on. No, you're not just going to just hop over the fact that you was in the club with Wayne and Kanye.
Yeah.
Tell me about that night if you can.
That was a crazy night because I've been around a lot of like stars, like superstars, right? But Wayne was different. Like Wayne and Kanye is different. Like everything stops when they in the building. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like everybody
turned
around in the club and everybody was just had their phones out on us, and I was just like, yo, this shit is like really crazy.
Different.
You know what I mean? But like to answer your question, I don't know, man. Like it's surreal. Like working with dudes like I really like idolize like Mace. I got to work with Mace. I got to work with Kiss. I really got to work with everybody I looked up to. Meth, Raekwon, Busta Rhymes, The Lox, Puff.
Surreal, man.
You know
and
what I mean?
Are you a lot of these times, are you in the studio collaborating with them, or are you just sending?
Sometimes I'm in the studio working with them. Sometimes I'm sending them tracks. You know what I mean? It's 2000. It was, you know, it's the 2010s. Everything was different. So I know when I first came in the game, it was more so like I was just sending everybody everything. Like I was just flooding flooding the gates. I knew it was an opportunity. I knew it was a window. I knew it was a small window, and I wasn't gonna let that, you know. Man, listen, I was gonna turn up. You know what I mean? I wasn't gonna let that by. Yeah. So every chance I got, you know what I mean? I was just sending people like 100 beats. Yeah. I was sending like 150 beats. And I'm like, I know like somebody gonna pick at least one or two out of these. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But yeah, it was surreal just working with like a lot of dudes that I came up listening to, watching on TV. And what really like blew my mind was like people like, you know, dealing with me like as if I was a peer of theirs, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Who's
respect is like mutual, you know what I mean?
Who's somebody who like outside? I want to know like somebody who has like a recording process that blew your mind. But who's somebody that you met and it like blew your mind that they actually knew you before you actually? I mean,
Swizz Beatz.
Swizz.
I met Swizz Beatz like years before I met him. So Charlie Mack took us to this was probably 2010. He took us to 2010. He took us to when Michael Jackson passed away. No, it was 2009 when Michael Jackson passed away. They did like the remake of We Are the World. With Usher and like Justin Bieber and all them.
Yeah, Biebs.
So I was actually I was there, like me and Meek, and like. It just was, I don't know, man. It was just crazy. it was just crazy, man. You know what I mean?
And you and him have like your similarities are so close to each other.
I'm going to answer your question, though.
Okay.
So I met Swizz there.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And I was, and Charlie was like, yo, this young kid, you know what I mean? He from out of the Philly area, you know what I mean? And he got the whole East Coast on fire right now. Young dude, you know what I mean? Swizz didn't know who I was, but he was like, yo, I see the fire in his eyes. I know I'm going to see you around.
Word.
I mean, he could have been saying that, but that motivated me a lot because that's my favorite person in music, you know what I mean? And then I seen him, he actually jumped on the I'm a Boss remix. And then he followed me on Twitter, you know what I mean? And then he was just like showing like mad love to me, like, yo, man.
That's dope.
Like, your shit is fire, you know what I'm saying? And then I got to really chop it up with him at the Roc Nation brunch a couple years ago. And I was just like, yo, man, this dude, like, he fuck with me. He's like, yo, I appreciate all the love you show and your interviews and stuff like that.
Yeah.
He hopped on, I ended up doing a Banned from TV too, like, on Nori's album, and he hopped on that too.
I remember it, yeah.
And I kind of like pay homage to Swizz. It was kind of like the same beat, but it was like I had switched it up. But he jumped on there. Raekwon jumped on there. French Montana, and it was just crazy, man.
Yeah.
Like Swizz, just me being able to work with him, like I signed with Hove, but when I met Swizz, it was like if you're a basketball player meeting Michael Jordan.
That's your Michael Jordan.
LeBron James, you know what I'm saying? For sure.
Okay, definitely. And since we was talking about the Roc Nation brunch and everything, and you mentioned Hove, could you ever imagine in your fucking wildest dreams to be like working hand in hand with that man like that?
Nah, man, not at all.
It's like
it was crazy because like with that story, that all stemmed from I'm a Boss too. So I'm a Boss was like Hove's favorite record at the time, and they had some intern reach out to me on Twitter, and I was spinning him like crazy because I didn't think it was real.
Yeah, you ain't believe it.
I know I'm hot, but nigga, I ain't this hot.
I ain't Hove hot.
You know what I'm saying? I know I'm hot around my area. And I got a couple records. I think that he heard stuff that I did on Chris Brown, Fan of a Fan.
Yeah.
And then when he heard I'm a Boss, it was over. And he was reaching out. The boy was like on my top. So I just like hit him back like, okay, what's up? You know what I mean? He was like, yo, come up to the Roc Nation office. I want to connect you with Tata. And Jay want to sign you. And I remember going up and Tata wasn't there. And I'm not going to say the A&R's name, but he ended up getting fired. But I went there and he was just like, oh, who you here for? I'm like, they told me to come here to holler at Tata. And he was like, oh, Tata ain't here. What you got, beats? I'm like, yeah, I got some beats. So he's like, yo, play him. So I'm playing the beats. This dude on his phone, filing his nails.
Who's this nigga?
I don't know. I mean, listen, I know who the nigga is, but
you don't
he
want to do
regretted
that.
it though.
I'm sure.
But, I left. I'm like, man, I'm telling my man's dude, I'm like, yo, I'm never coming back up this motherfucker.
Word.
Again. I had deals on the table. I had like 5 deals on the table. So I was ignoring this dude, but I was ignoring him for like 2 weeks. He gave my number to Jay's man, Emory Jones.
I got an Emory story.
So Emory texted me, and I'm at my brother Dre crib. He texted me like, yo, I'm at dinner with Jay. You know what I mean? He wanna connect it up. He wanna do this, you know what I'm saying? So I knew it was legit.
Yeah.
Because Emory hit me up. So when I came back, Tata was there waiting for me. He was like, yo, play some beats. I played like 2 joints. And he was just like, yo, you gotta sign with us.
Word.
He's like, yo, anybody been hollering at you? I'm like, yeah, I was humble about it. I'm like, yeah, I had a few talks, but it ain't nothing too crazy. And he was like, yo, give me a couple days. I'm gonna get the paperwork together, and then we're gonna take it from there. And I got a funny story about that. So I'm like, all right, that's cool, you know, but I mean, it could be a bigger bag out there. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know what he's proposing, but you know, I'm gonna weigh my options. So I'm gonna still take these meetings just in case it falls through. So I came back. I had my last meeting. I was supposed to have my last meeting at Roc Nation, but they was like right across. Their building was right in the same building as Sony. Like they was right across the hall from each other.
Okay.
I took a meeting with Sony, and after I left Roc Nation, and Tata found out about it the same exact day. He was pissed. Yeah. And my man dude was, that's my manager, and he was like, he called me out. I never forget. He called me. He said, yo, you need to fire your manager, man. He gonna fuck your career up.
Word.
You know what I mean? And he was like, yo, whatever you make, like whatever they offering, you gonna make 10 times here over at Roc Nation. And then I was like, all right, you know what I mean? He's passionate, like he's really passionate about me being over there. And they was like, they had something to prove too, cause I was there in the early stages. I think they had just signed like J. Cole, Bridget Kelly, and I think Willow Smith. Mm-hmm. So it was like really early.
That was like the first few artists that they signed.
So it was a big deal when I came over there. So I went there. I remember signing. I remember I had Jackie with me. Mm-hmm. She was pregnant with my daughter Amari, and I went there, man, and I got the contract, and I brought my lawyer with me, and I signed everything with the lawyer, and he was like, yo, Jay waiting for you. I didn't even know Jay was there. He was waiting for me.
I was wondering.
So he brought me into his office, and I'll never forget because this probably was the biggest office I ever been in.
Yeah, the whole floor.
This shit was crazy. and Hov was in there watching Sports Center. So I met him. He was just like, yo, we dapped it up. He was like, man, let's get it. And I'll never forget, we had turned around walking back. And he was like, yo, grab the ace of spades. Told Tata, grab the ace of spades. Yeah. And then I remember he grabbing me. And, you know, I'm like 100 pounds. He grabbed me and like shaking me up.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, let's get it. You know what I mean?
Yo.
And then we went back into the room. And no, I wasn't finished. I had like 1 page left that we forgot. So then when I was finished, he was just chopping it up with Jackie the whole time. And was just like telling her like, I think he rubbed her belly or something like that, and he was like, yo, this couldn't happen at a better time. And
yo.
You know what I mean? And
God's timing, man.
Yeah, it was crazy.
God's timing, man. I had I said you spoke on Emory. I have a funny Emory story. When I first moved up to New York a few years ago, I went up to the Roc Nation offices, not invited, of course. So I just go in there, I walk in the building and shit, walk up to the front desk. I'm like, yeah, I got a meeting with Emory. He waiting on me right here. You call upstairs. So they actually started calling or whatever. And it was like, he not in the office right now. And then I was like, all right, cool. And I walked out, but I didn't have no fucking meeting with him.
Nah, Emory is
I was just popping up.
Cool, man.
Yeah, that's why I figured. I'm like, man, if anybody going to feel me, it's going to be Emory.
Yeah, he one of the realest dudes I met in the industry, for real, man.
Yeah,
I ended up, like, I remember, because when I signed, he had just got out. So
yeah,
I used to like have like little like walkthroughs and stuff like that in clubs in New York and stuff like that. And he'd just pull up. He'd be in the VIP with me. I wasn't deep. He'd just be there with me and just vibe out with me.
Yeah,
all the time.
Baltimore ass nigga.
Yep.
Baltimore ass nigga. Talk to me about that Roc Nation brunch, cause like that's like when the public just see pictures like that and it's all that greatness in one area. Like, what is that like, man?
I mean, I was there for the first one, man. And it was like, the first time was the craziest one because it was just like, yo, I'm here like with Rihanna and like Beyonce is in here. And I mean, I met Beyonce a couple times, but with Roc Nation brunches, it's like, it's all people that's in the industry, it's somebody that's doing something. So it's not like, you got your homies with you and stuff like that to where so they can branch off and holler at Beyonce. Everybody in there does something. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it was just crazy just seeing like you might see Michael B. Jordan in there. You might see just people that you watch on movies and stuff like that, and TV, people that I'm fans of, you know what I mean? So I used to just sit back. I'd be chilling in the cut and just sitting back like, damn, this is really crazy, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like when I see you rubbing shoulders with people like that, it makes me smile, Josh. It's just
Thank you, man.
Like you and Nelson are pretty much the blueprint to getting out of here, being successful.
Thank you.
And just showing people the way. Like, you can do it. Like,
for sure.
Y'all are right there, like living proof to people. Like, nah, I know you in the circumstances you in, but you can change them circumstances with dedication and just sticking to your craft and just knowing what you want to do and everything. So I just love both of y'all, man. I just love how y'all represent us. I love Nelson,
man. Like, he really opened the door for everybody.
Yes.
Like,
kick that bitch down.
And then like the way he carried himself, like he never got in trouble and nothing like that. And I just respect, like he inspired me because like this dude come from Chester and this dude was on the cover of Sports Illustrated, you know what I mean?
And went undefeated. And
yeah, he was. Yeah, man, that's legendary. So. I mean, you know, I always was, he definitely played a part in my success as well because that's somebody to look at. I mean, as far as music, I never really had nobody to look at. But Nelson was just somebody like that I like, he used to come to my brother's crib, you know what I mean? And, you know, I was able to watch this dude go and go to the NBA and be an all-star. And I had his jersey, you know what I mean? So that was very important. He opened the doors. He changed the game, man. He changed the game for sure.
We in talks.
I got a lot of respect for Nelson for sure, man.
Everybody should. We've been in talks for a minute now for me to sit down with him and get him on the interview. I'm sure this will probably put a little bit more fire under his ass.
Yeah, y'all gotta come up, man. Holla at my boy, for sure.
Damn, I lost my train of thought.
Talking about the Roc Nation brunch?
Roc Nation brunch. What type of food are they serving? I'm imagining it's naked women and pineapples on titties and shit.
Nah, it's very professional. Like, you ain't gonna have no naked women in there when Gail in there. You know what I mean?
Shout out to Gail.
Robert Kraft, and like, I done seen so many like influential people in there, and it's like, it's really like a networking thing. I mean, people get lit in there. People turn up. You know what I mean?
I'm sure it's a celebration as much as it's networking.
You know, it's still our people in there. It's, you know, it's black people in there. We gonna have fun. We gonna turn. we gonna turn it up. We gonna have fun. But more importantly, like, it's more so a networking thing. Like I didn't go to the last one. I was in Tennessee with St. Jude.
Okay.
But the year before, I had brought Jackie with me, just cause she's doing her thing and she's out here making her own money, and you know, she got to make some connects out there and stuff like that. Yeah. And it's just a whole big like networking thing.
That's all.
You know
what
I mean?
I see that it's networking.
People build with each other. It's like black excellence. People build with each other. There's no egos involved. We have fun. You know what I mean? We turn up. I mean, look, Jack was in there smoking with 2 Chainz, man. They passing the. She probably gonna kill me for this, but she was in there smoking with 2 Chainz.
Where else could you get these type of stories? Yeah. My man tell me his wife smoking with 2 Chainz.
Man, she was in there, but she was there building. I know, we was chopping up with Nipsey, me and my man Rata, and she got the chance to chop it up with Lauren London and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And you know, that way she can pass off to like certain, you know, celebrities and things like that. Yeah. And it's just a networking thing over there, though.
Sure enough. I wanted to talk about, because you're pretty much responsible for the sound right now of the drill type sound with your boy Bobby Shmurder just coming home and everything. Was that record originally for Meek?
No. It was for Meek. So that story, like, I made the beat for Meek, but he was like, yo, we just did Burn. Burn was on the radio, was killing it. It was a hot record in the streets. He was like, it sounds too much like Burn. Yeah. I fool with it, but you know, it sounded like Burn. So I was working with G Unit heavy. I had just did Put Your Hands Up for 50, and then I did 100 bottles for Yayo and Buck.
That's my shit.
Yeah, you fuck with that. Yeah. And then I ended up doing Jackpot. What's his name? Lloyd Banks reached out to me from a record that I did with him and Fab.
Very
Get Down, Lay Down.
Very
and he was like, yo, send me some beats. And I ended up sending Banks that beat, you know what I mean? And he ended up putting it out. It's called Jackpot. But he put it out on Twitter, and he didn't put it on his tape. He just put it out there. And which was a dope record. I loved it, you know what I mean? And then I ended up putting that instrumental on this mixtape called Crack Music 5. And I put it on Dat Piff.
Okay.
And Bobby and Rowdy, they ended up using the beat Shmoney Dance. It ended up being Shmoney Dance, and then the other one was Hot Nigga. Man. You know what I mean? And I was late figuring out how hot it was. I never forget, Kevin Durant tweeted me. He was like, yo, this joint crazy. You know, it was crazy because my little brother Tone was telling me, like, yo, this joint is crazy. It's like popping on Vine. It's on everybody Vine skits and shit like that. And then when Kevin Durant tweeted me, he was like, yo, this joint is hot.
Kev be on that shit.
He be on
Durant be on that shit.
Yeah. So I reached out to him on Instagram. I was like, yo, send me your number. So we got to rapping. He was like, yo, you know, I'm trying to get out the streets, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, he's like, send me some joints.
Word.
You know what I mean? And I was like, yo, just rock out with it. And, you know, if it really, really pop off, then we handle the business from there. And then, like, maybe, like, 2 weeks later, like a week later, Complex did an article on him. And it was like, this is the answer to Chicago drill. And I'm like, this shit is crazy. You know what I mean? And then Shy Money XL, he reached out because he was like the head A&R. He might have been a president at Epic at the time. I think
at that time he was.
Yeah, he was killing it because straight off of everything he was doing with 50 Cent. So he reached out. He was like, yo, I'm about to sign Rowdy and Bobby. We got to straighten this business out ASAP. You know what I mean? And I was just like, all right, cool. You know what I mean? He paid for the beats. And then after that, they put the machine behind it. It was over after that. It was a wrap.
The first time I heard that shit and I just seen him, like, when you see him, it's just like, no, that's a star.
You know what's crazy? With the video, like, I would never click on it. Like, he was, like, when he was throwing the hat up, like, everybody would at me on Instagram, and I just thought it was, like, a joke or something like that.
No.
To be honest with you.
No.
But then the record just blew up, and and then, like you said, that birthed the sound of New York. Yeah. Well, I really think I'm a Boss birthed the sound of New York at the time. But that, like, started the drill wave.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
that's here now.
As much as I'm a Boss, like, changed things with Hot Nigga, my nigga, like,
yeah, that changed my life. Like, it changed my family life.
It changed everybody's life. Like, it changed the landscape of music. The way that we hear music right now, like, you're responsible for that, kid. Like,
thank you, man.
That's an accomplishment to know, like, you did that. Like,
yeah, man. I mean,
you got a lot of babies out here right now, kid.
Yeah, I be chilling though. I don't really like, even like when it was going on. Like, my brothers would tell you, I was always chill about it. Like, it was crazy, but it was like every week a different, like, something different would happen. Like, you'll see like Justin Bieber doing a shmoney dance, or you'll see like Rihanna. And then I remember we had to do paperwork. We had to do like a sync license deal with ESPN because Drake came out to it at the ESPYs. And then that's when I knew it was like really ridiculous. And then I was seeing like viral videos of like people doing it at their weddings, and then like at a church they doing it, and then
yeah, old ladies throwing their hats in the air,
shit was
church
wild.
hats in the air and shit.
Yeah, it was just crazy. And then I don't know, man, it was just wild.
Have y'all spoken about doing more music together since he's home?
I done already sent mad stuff to his camp. And also, me and Rowdy did like 3 joints already.
That's my guy. That's the one I like.
Yeah.
I always like the one who people bear, like how I like Styles and Kiss is the one. Or
I love Rowdy, man.
That's
my guy.
Rowdy get busy. Yeah. His energy is fucking
both of them
crazy.
is all around good dudes.
They
though,
are.
Man.
You can tell. You can tell. And you can tell that their friendship or their brotherhood it's real. Like even before the case and all that other shit. Like you can tell like they genuinely love each other. For the most part, I can't wait to hear you with them too.
Yeah, God willing, man. You know, God willing. If it, anything I do stick, it's a go. You know what I mean? But they, they definitely gonna be on my shit for sure, though. That's a given.
Yeah. Can I look out for anything from anything with Griselda that you're gonna be doing?
Like I said, I was telling you earlier, I just did something with Conway and Uncle Murder. That's crazy too. Okay. Look that up, man. You gonna Conway the Machine? I'm gonna throw that on my mixtape too.
Okay.
And yeah, man, like that drill wave is serious.
Okay.
It's serious now.
It's time to all right, I beat around the bush enough. Now we got to talk about this Grammy shit. Like, okay, it's one thing to come from here and, then you managed by Roc Nation. This is big shit. But when you got the Grammy, and we spoke on Nelson earlier, when you got the Grammy, it's like equivalent to when Nelson made the All-Star game. It's just like that. It's like I'm here, like, yeah. I'm being recognized for my accomplishments. Mm-hmm. How was it when you got that call that you won a Grammy with Bubbling?
I found out. So I found out like in October. You find out if you nominated. So I was in Miami, and Anderson .Paak texted me like, "Yo, what we wearing to the Grammys?" I'm like, "Wow, this record is really nominated for a Grammy." So that was it. I didn't think I was gonna win or anything like that because it was like it was like Cardi B and like Drake and like Future and Kendrick Lamar in the category.
But Anderson was killing shit at that time.
But I was like, all right, I'm here. You know what I mean? Like you said, it's like making it to the All-Stars. It's like, all right, yo, I'm in the mix. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So when Grammy came, Grammy weekend is always on my birthday. So I always go out LA to work. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so I ended up going. Me and Jackie we wound up going to Vegas. And, I'm just going crazy. I'm just getting lit every night, turning up, having fun, enjoying myself. Because it's like, I don't think I'm going to win, but I'm hype. I'm grateful to even be acknowledged, you know what I'm saying? Because that record was a record that I really like. And it's always good for, like those type of records with that type of artist to be acknowledged, you know what I'm saying? So when we got to L.A., my family came out, and we was just turning up. And the funny thing about it is, me and Anderson .Paak birthday on the same day.
Say word.
Yeah, February 8th. So he had a party 2 nights. It's a funny story. So he had a party like 2 nights before the Grammys, and man, I got tore up, man. I got tore up bad, and I ended up going to the Roc Nation brunch the next day, and I never forget. We got into the Escalade, and it's like maybe like 10 Escalades behind me. We get to the top of the hill where the party is at. I'm like, yo. I tell Rata, yo, you gotta let me out, man. I gotta throw up.
Yeah.
So all the celebrities is watching me on the side of the hill, throwing up in this bag, and then our security is like, I was hungover at the Roc Nation brunch, man.
Yeah. Was that the first one?
I ran into Meek. He's like, yo, boy, you had a long night, man.
Yeah. Was that the first Roc Nation brunch? Or?
No, this was probably like, this was like 2 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So this is like this is 2 years ago, 2019. No, it was 2019.
Yeah.
So, like that whole time I was just turning up like crazy, going crazy.
Yeah.
So, so we on our way, we late because we turned up the night before. I'm hungover, and we late and we on our way. Some told me to check my Twitter, and I checks it. You know what I mean? And like my whole mentions is flooded. I got like 2,000 mentions. I'm like, what the hell?
Shit.
And then I've checked, and it was like Roc Nation had congratulated me. My publisher, Warner, congratulated me on winning the Grammy. I'm like, holy shit, I won. Oh my
shit.
God, this is crazy.
Yo.
You know what I mean? And I never forget, we was hyped, and they was like, yo, I'm like, yo, we go on a red car, or we take pictures, and we out, we going back, and we turning up again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's how it happened, man. We dipped. You know what I mean? We dipped.
How did that song come about? How did you all even?
That song, so he followed me on Twitter, and I was a fan of his.
Easy.
And I was like, yo, let me send you some joints. No. He hit me up. He's like, yo, send me some joints. I'm like, all right, cool. I sent him like 100 beats. And he did a whole bunch of, we got a whole bunch of records.
Yeah.
And Bubbling was one of them. And he ended up going on, he sent me Bubbling. And then he ended up going on tour. And when he got off tour, he was playing a bunch of records for Dr. Dre. And Dr. Dre heard it, and he was like, yo, what the fuck is this? This is crazy.
Nigga.
He was like, I ain't never heard nothing like this before. And he was like, yo, Dr. Dre's like, yo, we putting this shit out ASAP. Let's handle this business. We putting this out ASAP.
Yeah.
So he was like, yo, send the stems. We about to put this joint out. And then, a lot of people don't know, I actually won my Grammy with Dr. Dre. He mixed the record. Yeah, he mixed it. Yep.
Are you fucking kidding
Yep.
me?
He mixed it.
That's
one
thing I didn't know.
Yep. He mixed the record. He got the drums sounding crazy on there.
Yeah, the shit was clear.
Yeah.
Crystal clear.
Yep.
Did you get to meet Dre?
I never got to meet Dre. Never.
No.
That's the only, I've met everybody but Dr. Dre.
So who are some of the other producers? I know you mentioned Just Blaze.
I met Pharrell, I met Just Blaze, I met Swizz, Kanye.
You got any work with Kanye? Did you have any work with him yet?
A lot of people don't know. Kanye co-produced Burn. He did something with the brass horns on there. Honestly, I think Kanye got my tag taken off of there too. He was hating a little bit.
Yeah, but he got a little bit of hating. That's what he into.
No, I don't think he understood at the time. He didn't like the fact that, like, our generation was putting the tag on the beat.
I was about to say he's a traditionalist.
And he was telling, I swear to God, listen, this, if I'm lying or flying, I remember being in the studio with Big Sean, and Sean was like, yo, Kanye don't get it. Like, he was like, yo, why he keep putting them? So, because Kanye had a pack of my beats. I don't even know how he had my beats, but Kanye, he was fucking with, Sean was saying he was fucking with my beats, but he hated the tag.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't want the tag on there. He didn't want no tags on his beats. And that was crazy. But he touched up Burn. That's the crazy thing about it. He didn't want any credit or nothing like that.
So you done work. So indirectly, you done worked with Dr. Dre and Kanye.
For sure.
Jesus Christ! You got any stories about Pharrell? A time that you was with Pharrell?
Nah, it was just a what's up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It wasn't nothing too crazy.
Little
you know what I mean?
producer
we was
respect.
in the same place at the same time, and it was just respect between both of us. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And you've co-produced the Bubbling with Ant-Man.
Ant-Man Wonder. So Ant-Man Wonder is his producer, but he does like samples. So he ended up putting out this album. I was just a fan of him as a musician. So it was just like, you know how like a band will play something and then you would take their stuff and then make the beat. So it was like I sampled him, but I let him get like producer credits, you know what I mean? Because he was coming up, he was trying to get in the game, you feel what I'm saying? So he ended up winning the Grammy with me.
And that's what I was going to ask you. I didn't know how the actual co-producing of that actual record happened and what you saying.
No, I flat out created that beat.
Yeah,
but I
sampled
him. He gave me, I took his sample and then made the beat out of it.
Everybody
you know
else.
what I mean? But Ant-Man's my guy. I did the same thing with Rick Ross. What was it? Crocodile Python.
Okay, all right.
You know what I mean?
Where's Ant-Man from? Where's Ant-Man Wonder?
He from Philly.
He from Philly? Okay, just wanted to give him a shout out, make sure.
Ant-Man, that's my guy.
Damn, I wish you did. So you wasn't in the studio with Anderson .Paak when he.
Nah, I think he was like in and out of tour or something like that.
Yeah, that.
But I definitely wasn't in the studio making that.
Nigga, when that bubbling.
But I was in the studio making a couple records. I ended up doing a remix for Come Down too with Ty Dolla $ign and Schoolboy Q. That was the first joint I did with him though.
Yeah, talk to me again. The bubbling is another example of your range. Talk to me about your range and how you develop like your sound now.
Yeah. I like to just do me, but I like to bring people in my world, but I also like to do what they like to do too. I just know that he was just like a different type of artist, so with that sample, you know what I mean? Like, I already like knew, like, when he asked me for beats, I already knew, like, all right, cool. I'm gonna kind of like do some different shit. When I do this pack, when I make this folder, I'm gonna just do some different shit, like, but I'm gonna bring him into my world. Like, I'm gonna have some different sound and shit. It ain't gonna sound like I'm a boss, but it might have that same effect as far as the drums and stuff like that. Okay. And I never really try to shy away from, like, my style unless I'm doing stuff like Lemonade Mimosas for currency and like Crocodile Python for like Rick Ross.
Because that's more of your soul bag. That's more of your soul bag.
Right.
That's right now when I hear your stuff, I told you earlier, stadium. It sounds like you on some stadium music type of shit. Is that correct?
Oh yeah, for sure. Okay. I always had those little bags like. Even like
it sounds bigger though.
Like when I did like Jeezy, Nah Broke. That's like a big record.
Big as shit. It's big.
The only reason why that wasn't a single because Wayne ended up, he didn't take the beat and put it out. He did that beat, but it leaked right before we was putting that out as a single for his album. And Jeezy was sick, but he understood though. He was like, damn man, you know what I mean? Because at the time we was working with him heavy. Me and Tone out in Miami, and he was salty about that because he was salty at Wayne and them. Not really salty like on some beef shit, but he was just mad that it like leaked because he really loved that record. But like that sound, it's just like a full like that's when I get in my bag with the melodies and like the chords and the pads and stuff like that. To where as though it's the melody that's really driven, other than the drums. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But to answer your question, like even now, like I want to do something that's gonna kind of change the game again, and do something really big. You
on the verge because all the snippets that you be releasing, I'm like, oh, this shit, it just sounds so huge, and that's just coming from my phone. I can imagine what it sounds like coming through them damn studio speakers, and that shit would probably shake my goddamn heart.
Thank you.
But I love it. I love it because
appreciate it.
I can just like you continue to grow, you doing records with pop artists and.
Thank you.
Tell me about the pop lane. Like
yeah, so I mean my first shot with that was I think it was Leona Lewis.
Leona Lewis
going out to London and working on her project and doing something with her and Donald Glover. You know what I mean? And that was like my first like real like intro into like the pop world. And then I got to do like Fan of a Fan. With Chris Brown. Got the executive produce that with Kevin McCall, and Prince. I got to do that joint with Prince.
No, the Prince, the purple Prince,
yeah,
with the ass out Prince.
Yeah, I was on his last album. Yep.
You met him?
I never met the nigga.
But so you got a Prince story?
Nah, I don't got a Prince story. I wish I did.
Yeah, the nigga just blew my fucking mind, Dre. Yeah. Yo, nigga, I'm like, what? Yeah.
But that was surreal because. Technically, he sampled it and I had to go in and change some stuff.
Yeah.
So I did the record initially with Mila J.
fuck with. She's so
She's
beautiful.
fire, right? Yeah. And for those who don't know, that's Janae Eichel's sister.
Yeah.
And I did her whole project, you know what I mean? And then he just was a fan of her stuff and a fan of the stuff that we did.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, Prince is a fan of my shit. This is the
in.
greatest artist to me of all time, you know what I mean? And we ended up being on his album, and it just was a blessing, man. And then he passed away. But I don't know, man. I think that's my biggest, I think that's bigger than a Grammy. Honestly, because like
being recognized by Prince,
because he's the best ever to me. Like I think he's like Michael Jordan. You know what I mean? He's the GOAT as far as like musicians. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the art. You know what I mean? So I don't know, man. That was just surreal too.
My nigga, you just blew my mind with I just mentioning Prince and like, how the fuck do you just?
I'm gonna send you that track too.
Please do, nigga. Please do, cause working with Prince and you got Dre and like my nigga, like I'm glad I did this, cause I'm getting you giving me jewels that I had no clue about.
I was going, you know what I mean?
Oh my God, this is fucking dope. You just blew my mind, y'all. Just mentioning that like fucking Prince, like you on Prince radar, cause anytime you hear somebody, like every Prince story is a great story. Even that little bit of a story. Yeah. Is a great story. Every Prince story is great.
Yeah, we was shocked, man. We couldn't believe it. You know what I mean?
That is crazy. I asked you if you had a chance to speak to him because he's always, when he speaks to other artists, it's always about ownership.
Right. I don't think I got a chance. He had died like right after that. That was the crazy thing about it. You know what I mean? Right before I probably would have had a chance to work on more music with him. You know what I mean?
Fuck yeah, if he was on his radar.
Yeah, I didn't get that chance.
Man, but, Jesus Christ, fucking Prince. I gotta come back. I gotta come back to life right now. I think you just blew my mind. I swear to God, you just mentioned Prince and Dr. Dre in the same goddamn sentence. It's just like it just blew my fucking mind. I want to talk about like a lot of the work that you do in the community. First, who are some of like the businessmen that you look to for guidance and
Hov for sure. Hov gave me a lot of game of just like, you know, like just having integrity and you know what I mean? So I got game from him, and even like Kevin Lyles gave me a lot of game. People don't know, like, I mean, if you follow me on Instagram for a minute, you knew Kevin Lyles was my manager for a couple of years. You know what I mean? But Kevin Lyles used to just always give me game about just like being a brand outside of just Jahlil Beats, you know what I'm saying? And really Kevin Lyles and Hov, I got a lot of game from them. And I got some game from Russell Simmons too. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Before he went to Bali.
I got the chance to talk to Russell Simmons as well. And these are guys that I always watch, you know what I mean? Puff, Hov, Russell, you know what I mean? Kev, and I always admired them from afar. I don't really talk too much, so if I do come to you and ask you about certain things like that, like motherfuckers know, like I'm definitely like trying to figure something out.
Yeah. You ain't just wasting words.
Yeah, like I seen these guys like before me, and I was a fan. You know what I mean? I was a fan, and I'm a student of the game. You know what I mean? So I watch these dudes, and anybody that know me know I'm a sponge. I might not say much, but I sit back and observe. And,
the observer is the dangerous one.
Yeah, but like even as far as like the community go, like that always been before them. That always just been something I was into. Like I always tell people, like I had a story about when I was a kid growing up. Like I mean, just being in the LV. I remember the center in the LV. My mom had 7 boys. She did the best she could. She did an amazing job, but it was still certain things that we didn't have, but. We went. I remember they had like a Christmas giveaway in the center, and I'm not even gonna lie. I don't know who threw it, but I know that I was a big like Ghostbuster. I was a fan of the Ghostbusters cartoon. At the time, and remember like the toilet, the monster toilet, that talking shit. They had it there, and I remember I was like, I got it. I'm like, wow, this is amazing. Somebody I don't even know me gave me this.
Word.
No, for sure. And that always stuck with me. So when I signed my deal, I got a couple dollars. I was like, yo, let me just start. I want to get that feeling of these.
Yeah, because your toy drives are legendary around here. And the way that you give back to the community, like you're such a great example for us out here. Like,
appreciate it.
Because you're reachable, you're touchable. Like people can see you. Now we're not saying you out here just hanging out on some bullshit, but if you're in the right area, you can ride past and see Ja or see Ja ride past you.
Man, I really love the city. You
have to be from here. You gotta love it.
But the people support me 1,000%, and it makes me want to give back all the time and just raise that bar in the city. You know what I mean? Because people appreciate it, and you want to do more for people that appreciate it. And everywhere I go, and when I'm in the city, you know what I mean? I'm not in the city like I used to be, but when I'm in town, and I get to like just run into people that even if
love.
I don't know, you know what I mean? It's always love.
It's always good to get that love that you don't normally see all the time, because you don't know who got love for you or who respects you until you actually see them. Because a lot of our people, we don't do a lot of the online shouting outs and showing love because, of whatever reason why we don't do it.
This is the era of, I get it, man. This the era of like, everybody don't want to look like they a fan or anything like that. Yeah. But I never felt that type of way towards people. You know what I mean?
Spread love, man.
I respect it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't be giving a
same
damn.
Respect back. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's why whenever I don't mind like when you post some shit and I just hit you in the comment and say something real quick. It's just like I just want acknowledgement. Like I just love acknowledging people who doing shit.
I want to reciprocate. What is it called?
Reciprocate. Yes.
That.
Yes.
I done had this damn shot.
Yeah, that little shot. That was a little shot. I just wanted. That was just to get you comfortable.
Reciprocate.
Talk to me about opening up the sneaker store, because that was like the not, I wouldn't say the start, but it helped add to the new renaissance of building Overtown back up to other people to be downtown.
Well, I wanted to do, it's crazy because I wanted to do a nightclub. I wanted to do Club 808, but just to bring because I always see how when we was doing Tandem Weekend, not even Tandem Weekend, we would do certain little things on a con that nobody even know, and we would bring celebrities in, but nobody would really know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I was like, well, if I got that reach, you know what I mean? Let's do a nightclub and see if we can bring these people in, and the city can see it, and then we can build around it. So then I got to think I don't think the city is ready for that. You know what I mean? Putting everybody in one little spot at that spot, and I had a relationship with Sneaker Villa. They wanted to do. Meek Mill had did a Dream Chasers line with Mark Echo over there. So they wanted to do the same thing with me. And, I just built a great relationship with them. And I was just like, yo, I'm thinking about buying a lot of property in my city, downtown. It's untapped,
Very untapped.
Let's sit down. What can we do? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they were like, look, we'll give you your own, you can franchise it. We get the option to franchise it, and we'll give you your own, the first signature store. And this was we met a couple times, and then they was with it.
So you're the first signature store?
Yeah, I'm the first I'm the only signature store right now.
Excuse the fuck out of me.
And we partners with the whole business of that store.
Okay.
And they my tenant as well. You know what I mean?
So you own McCory's, the old McCory's.
And we was looking at a whole, but we wasn't even gonna go with that. But I found out that back in the day,
McCory's was
you
the
could,
shit.
Yeah, I know it was the shit, but you couldn't, black people couldn't use the bathroom or the fountain over there.
I remember hearing that.
When I heard that, I was like, oh, we gonna
segregated
buy that.
in that motherfucker.
I was like, yeah, I'm getting that one right there. You know what I mean? And then it was on the corner, so.
Right there. I used to, when I was younger, I used to and go over there to Grands and to Tops and things to buy sneakers and stuff.
And it's still, McCory's. Believe it or not, it's still the #1 sneaker store in the region.
Get out
in this area, yeah.
You congratulate you that.
But that is a testament of how much the city support.
Yeah, and you're providing opportunity and jobs for kids.
Everybody worked there. Most of the people was working. I know my niece was working there. I know a lot of the young boys that graduated from Chester High was working there. Mm-hmm. So we want to keep it in the city, people from the city working there and just creating jobs and just creating opportunities. That's the whole goal. Yeah,
and you spoke on trying to open a nightclub. Do y'all still have plans on trying to open a lounge?
We actually got a hookah lounge that's open over top, and that's through somebody else. But I think that we're going to be partners in that. Yeah, I gotta highlight my partners, but it's gonna be a hookah lounge over it's a big space over top of the sneaker store. Okay. And then behind that we already got the clinic done, PA Health and Wellness. Okay. So I partnered with PA Health and Wellness. We got a clinic coming. Word. We were supposed to do a ribbon cutting before COVID, but then COVID hit, and then a lot of things didn't get done. So that's coming next though. How did COVID change the music industry for you, or how did that? Nobody tours, so a lot of people ain't making music like that. Yeah. You know what I mean? And then the ones that is, aren't the guys that sell too crazy. You know what I mean? So I mean, I didn't take a hit, but it definitely kind of like slowed the process down.
Yeah, I'm sure everything was shut down.
Yeah, I mean, but thank God I got other avenues of like streams of money that I can tap into. Well, I'm blessed to be able to do that. I was smart enough to do that because when a lot of people is like struggling, man, and I feel for them.
It's rough out here. Talk to me. I want to talk about Tandem Weekend because that was like, it was game changing for the community, and like, because when you come to the weekend, you can feel the love. Yeah. And it's kids enjoying themselves, and even grown-ups is standing out there, and then you got all the vendors and things like that. Like, talk to me about like spearheading that situation.
Yeah. So with Tandem Weekend, it was just like a family reunion in Chester. You feel what I'm saying?
Yes.
To where as though it's like, I get it. I understand that like a lot of people, we in Chester, it's a small city, and it's like, it's stricken by poverty. So a lot of people, we in an era where a lot of people was like starting to be their own bosses and stuff like that.
Yes.
So I sat down with my team and I was just like, how can I like emphasize on that? How can we do something dope for the city and give other people opportunities as well? Yeah. You know what I mean? So we would just reach out to all the vendors, like the whole block would just be vendors selling their stuff. And then we was like, we wanted to, cause like the artist stuff was later on. Yeah. Those ideas were later on. So then we wanted to just do stuff like with like the kids. So my brothers is always involved. My brother Dre is in Tandem, you feel what I'm saying? So he was just like, yo, my peoples, shout out to Sean Pickett. Sean Pickett does stuff like with the bouncies and stuff like that. So he was like, yo, let's get some bouncies. And then my man Doc, that's my cousin, my man Doc, he got he started doing like the funnel cake vendor, like the truck and all that stuff like that. So I'm like, all right, well, these are my peoples. I'm gonna start bringing them in, and we just started like, we put that idea together, and then we was just like, yo, you know, we got the vendors, we got like stuff. We got like a game bus or something like that for the kids. I think we had like a pony there the first year.
Yeah, I believe y'all did have like a pony the first year.
And then like I was just like, yo, why don't we just do a concert? Why don't we just bring like, you know, like some artists here and shit like that. Like, this artist constantly hitting me up for beats. Let's kind of like use these favors to do these things. And then like, I know the first year we had like Kiss, which is like one of my top 5 favorite rappers. So I had him come through. I had Beans, another one, come through for like the older crowd. Then I had like, for like people that's into like the underground, I had Casanova come through. He had just
I remember that year.
He had put a record out called Run. And then I think we had A Boogie with the hoodie headline. Yes. He was like super on fire. And
it was hot as shit that day.
I don't think people believed it. I know motherfuckers was like, yo, A Boogie ain't coming out here. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Then you blew their mind with the Rick Ross joint the year later or whatever.
Ross come the year later. You know what I mean?
That was big. I fuck with that.
It's crazy because last summer we was going to do Uzi.
Uzi they would have went crazy.
And you know what's crazy? God bless his soul. Nipsey Hussle, we was gonna do me and Rata was chopping it up with Nipsey, and we was just telling Nipsey how we buying blocks in Chester, and we bought the whole block over town, and he's like, what? Like I had to pay $2 million for my joint. So we started to build, and what we was gonna do was we was gonna do like a conference type thing. Yeah. And we was gonna have we had gave what's his name from Atlanta, rapper boy, activist.
Big Mike.
Killer Mike. He had agreed it was gonna be me, him, and Nipsey. They had agreed to do Tandem Weekend, and we was just gonna teach the value of starting your own business, and we was gonna have like workshops showing you how to do your LLC and all types of cool shit, and just giving game. And then Nipsey like passed away like right before Tandem Weekend. Damn. So that was like super sad. Yeah. But yeah, man, we did it, and I gotta salute the city because every year we do it, there's no problems. Yeah. Nobody want to fight. Everybody got respect. Yeah. And the last time it was 2 hoods that was beefing with each other there.
Right there next to each other.
And nobody did nothing, man. It was all love.
I was coming back down because your weekend is normally, Tandem Weekend is normally the same weekend that Spike Lee does the Michael Jackson or Michael Jackson party, block party or whatever. So one year I didn't go to that. I came back down here to actually see it. It may have been the second year. I'm not sure what year it was that you had me host the basketball game. But it was,
I think that was the second year.
That was the second year.
I think we only did 2 years.
3, I believe.
We did 3 years?
I thought y'all did 3.
No, we did. So it was A Boogie the first year, then we had P&B Roc.
Yeah.
Headline, then we had Rose.
Yeah, see, I can't remember which one it was, but I surely enjoyed myself. It was hella fun. It was hot as shit in that damn
And shout out to my
gym.
boy Rondé, because Rondé came through and he coached, because nobody, niggas was looking at me like I was crazy. I was trying to call some plays and stuff like that for young boys. But he came through, and then, you know.
It was good,
fun,
man. Like,
it was really fun.
That weekend is love.
We were supposed to have AI, and what happened was something happened with AI and his family, and he was really upset about that.
Talk to me about that relationship that you got with AI.
Yeah, he's like a big brother, man. He loved me to death.
Yeah,
I don't understand it, but dude,
I know, I can tell. How did y'all meet?
So his cousin is my man's K. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And I just was around K, and then he just would want to pull up. You know what I mean? He would pull up to the studio, or he would just be like, yo, tell Lil, because Hot Nigga was like one of his favorite songs.
Okay.
He'd be like, yo, tell Lil to come to the hotel and just kick it. We'd drink. And he loved Don P, so he put me on a Don P. We used to just get tore up off bottles of Don P.
I turned you on a Don P, man.
Yeah, but I remember, like, we ended up going to Toronto for All-Star Weekend, and we stayed in the same hotel, and I really got to really, like just roll around with him and just pick his brain, and you know what I mean? And I think we sort of like the same type of people, you know what I mean?
Yeah, okay. I can get
we
that.
Can relate on a lot of things, even on the success level, you know what I mean? He got a big family, I got a big family, so we both go through the same type of things. So
that's work, that's deep, that's dope. And also you got a good, first.
He's actually on my intro on my project too.
The new one that's coming?
For you too, yeah.
Please do. What was I going to ask you? Has AI ever teased you about the game that he had? What was it, like 60
I beat his ass.
Nelson?
Yeah, no, I thought you was about to talk about, so. Yeah, he said he gave Nelson buckets.
He didn't get the whole 60. How much was it? He didn't get the whole 60.
Yeah, he said he gave Nelson buckets.
He gave him some buckets. I was wondering if y'all talked about that.
We
That's
definitely
funny.
talk about that, because he loved Jameer. He loved Jameer.
Hell yeah. I knew it. I that was one of the main questions that I wanted to ask you. If y'all just kicking it, and he just say something about that game against Nelson.
He definitely said he said, I had to do it.
Yeah.
Dre, no, he was there. He said, I had to give it to him. I love him to death. He said 60. Yeah, Dre said, yo, you gave my man 50. He said, nah, 60.
Nah, he ain't give him the whole 60. I would not co-sign that he gave him the whole 60, but some buckets were given.
Nah, but I beat AI at Dave & Buster's. One night he had to come out to Dave & Buster's. My brother Jamil, I think Milk was with me and Jamar was with me. And we was playing on the courts, and I didn't miss.
Yeah.
And he was mad at me. Yo, he was pissed. Listen, I wouldn't give him another rematch because I beat him.
You're not supposed to.
I never gave him another rematch.
You're not supposed to.
So I talked about it, and I did an interview with Slam Magazine and Reebok, and I talked about how, because he had connected me with Reebok, and I did like a photo shoot, and I did something for Slam for one of his colorways.
Okay. And
I was just telling them like, yo, I beat his ass at David Buster's.
Yeah.
He was mad. He's mad that I talked about it in the Slam Magazine.
You won up,
and
dog.
I seen him at I ran to him at the Powerhouse, and he said, man, don't talk to me, nigga. So you went to Slam Magazine, told him you beat me.
Oh, that is fucking hilarious.
Nah, that's my
man.
big bro though, for sure.
Yeah, I can tell y'all got a good relationship. What's up with you and Danny Garcia? I see you got a good relationship with him.
That's my brother, man. That's another. His daughter. I mean, his little sisters. They sing, so I do a lot of work with them. But that's my guy, man. I knew him before, like a lot of stuff bubbled off. You know what I mean? His management is some of my best friends, the Watson brothers.
Okay.
So I used to stay with them out in L.A. You know what I mean? And he was one of they managed them. Like Sam Watson and Al Heyman's Those are dudes that's always behind Floyd.
Oh, I know.
The ring and stuff like
if
that.
anybody ever hears Al Heyman, you don't know Al Heyman,
So
you don't know
some
nothing.
of my best friends.
Get the fuck out of
Nah,
here.
that's my brothers for sure. They
That's
was
dope.
in my music videos and shit and everything.
That's dope.
But that's how I met Danny. We just always kicked it, and we got close, man. He ended up buying a house that I was about to buy. The house he in now with the indoor pool.
Yeah.
I was gonna buy that house, but it was just too much to put in. I think he put some bread into that joint.
I'm sure, but
And,
an indoor
and
pool.
Jackie was like, man, we gotta get something now. We ended up getting a pool, but it wasn't indoor.
Wasn't
you know
an
what I
indoor
mean?
joint. I imagine being around Danny. He just out of nowhere just starts shadow boxing out of the blue. Do he just start just throwing jabs?
He real
and
cool.
shit?
He real humble, man. He's a cool dude.
Cool dude.
That's my
I
guy.
love him and his pops relationship is pretty cool.
Even he was supposed to do a in store for before the COVID stuff at the DTLR.
COVID fucked a lot of
I know.
shit up. We talking about your work in the community. How is it? You just recently signed the kid Bobby Zane?
I'm in the process of signing him.
Okay.
But it's gonna be done. He just did something with Meek. I got him something with Meek, and he got a drink with Gucci Mane. That's ridiculous.
He definitely give me Gucci vibes.
Yeah. Young boy. So I don't want to be a dinosaur. You know what I mean? I'm a fan of like dudes like NBA Young Boy.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of
He
like
fit right
Roddy
into that.
Ricch and all
Yeah,
those young dudes.
yeah.
That's the wave. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like music is evolving. A lot of these dudes are just straight up artists. You know what I mean? They it's bigger than like hip hop. It's like they artists now. Like they rock stars. Like
Yeah, it's no more. It's not
Lil
rapping.
Uzi Vert. These guys
rock
are.
stars.
You know what I mean?
And he
Either you
falls
gonna-
under that. He
either
falls
you gonna
under
that or you gonna
Die.
go away. You
Yeah.
feel what I'm saying? So I was just like, Tone always keep me up on like the wave of these new young dudes.
shit.
There's
Dre
a lot
always
of
tell
young
me.
dudes in the city that I know that they probably don't even know I know.
Yeah, me too.
And
I'm the same way.
I just became a fan of him. I was like, yo, he's dope.
got
He's
it.
fire.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he got a movement behind him. That was really that was impressive to me.
I'll tell you about that movement.
That was impressive for real to me. And he from the fairground. My mom from the fairground. You feel me?
Oh, it makes sense. It
Yeah,
makes
so
sense.
I just I reached out to my man Rick Danes from Hip Hop since 1987, and he managed him. I was just like, yo, I'm thinking about signing the young boy, you know what I mean? But we gonna do it different this time. And he was like, yeah, let's do it. So I sat down with him, and I had my dad with him. He got to chop it up with my pop, and we was just telling him about my background, cause it's a gap. He's
younger.
young.
Yeah, young.
So I got to learn about him and his struggles and what he's trying to accomplish.
Fell in love
And
with
I
the
was just
story.
like, man, I'm trying to help, man. And I'm in the middle of doing another label deal somewhere that's way better. You know what I mean? Because I had we had a deal with Warner 88, but it was more so of a like indie deal, and I had CRMC over there, but we couldn't move the way that we wanted to move. They promised us a lot of stuff that we couldn't do.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And they wanted to change their music as well. I never really told them that, but they wanted them to be what they wasn't.
Like, what do you mean?
CRMC is very talented. These young dudes, like, they can rap. They can do a
Rap
lot
their ass off.
of stuff, but they wanted them to be like, quote unquote, these clout chasing rappers. You feel what I'm saying?
The bullshit.
And that's what they more so like me, their persona. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They ain't trying to they trying to make the music and be out the way.
Fuck yeah.
But with this next situation that I'm doing, it'll enable like a label. It's a label deal, so it's like we probably don't get the same cuts, but it's a label deal, and I can take these young artists and this talent from Chester and really blow them up, because I feel like that's the last thing on my list. I've been able to accomplish a lot of things, but I haven't been able to break any artists from Chester.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to know. Like right now,
and
it's
that's my
probably
biggest
important for
goal, is to find somebody that I fool with, and blow them up. Because me as a producer, I can't really do. And then I'm a behind the scenes producer, so I can't really do like certain things these artists like Rick Ross can do with a Meek Mill.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
All I could do is kind of share my resources, but this will give him the chance to have some money behind him and do what he got to do.
We're gonna wrap it up. I know we're getting a little late in time.
Yeah, I got to be somewhere.
Yeah, I know.
Like this
No, I know. I'm wrapping it up. Don't worry about it. These is the end of the questions.
Hey, for sure.
Yeah. I've timed it perfectly.
No doubt.
So yeah, I want to touch on the Bobby Zane thing. When you spoke on his following already. I'm proof of his following because one weekend we wound up playing a couple of his tracks on the joint, and I'm promoting it and shouting everything out, and his friends took the love the wrong way. They felt like I was dissing him instead of promoting him.
You gotta be careful with these young. We from the streets.
Yeah, I know. But I'm an OG nigga, and I let them know like, nah, we ain't gonna go down that line. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So we straightened it out, and I could tell how Bobby Zane, he has his head on straight because me and him was the ones communicating in between of all the extra shit. So I'm like, yo, you got some people behind you, and I love that.
But you know what I liked about him? He was really humble. He's really humble, and he's like, he's just different. Like he want to stay out the way and just have fun. Like he want to make music.
Yeah, he looked like it.
He ain't trying to be out here beefing with other young boys. And that was one thing I said. I said, well, listen, man. I sat down with him. I said, well, listen, I'm from Chester, so I represent everybody. So right now we gonna get this out the way. Do you got beef with anybody? Because I'm not trying to inherit that beef. Yeah. Because I'm trying to sign other young boys too. I'm trying to sign. I'm trying to sign at least 5 more of these young boys that I know about.
That's cool. That's cool. What do you have coming up? These are the last few things. Anything that you got coming up that you wanted people to pay attention to?
So, I mean, look out for Bobby and Rowdy, of course. Bobby Zane, like, I want to break him. You know what I mean? That's the most important thing. But I've been working. So, as a producer, you work a year, and then you work a whole year, and then the music ends up coming out the next year. Yeah. So, last year, I was just, like, working like crazy. So, it's starting to come out. I know the Lil Durk joint came out. Busta joint just came out. And I got a whole bunch of shit coming.
Yeah, I can't wait.
But most importantly, just putting all my eggs behind in the basket for Bobby Zane and kind of like blowing him up.
That's cool.
And then working with my boys, GS9.
Yeah, that's cool, man. First, thank you for sitting here, man. Like,
appreciate you having
really,
me, man.
Really appreciate you sitting down with me and taking this time out because I know you're a busy man, and I hope that I gave you the interview that you wanted, and
it was
you
got some great questions, man.
You know what I'm saying? So just thank you, man. Like really, because I know this is going to do something for me in some type of way.
Yeah, and anybody I can shoot over to you. You know what I mean? I'm definitely with that. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna get Dre to shoot you my number. So I could definitely have some people come up.
I would appreciate that because you know I love hip hop, and I just want to make sure that my voice is heard as well as other people's voices. Like this right here was perfect for me because, like I told you, I didn't get a lot of interviews to where we was able to get this, like Prince stories and fucking Dre mixed that, and like, so thank you, man. I'm at a loss for words, and like, thank you, man. Shout out to everybody who's listening and watching this joint. Be sure to check it out on my YouTube page and on my website, jsuttoncomedy.com. This is the Grammy Award Winning producer, Jahlil Beats.
Thank you.
I'm Jay Sutton. We'll catch y'all on the next one. Reality check.